You have no idea how much I'm wishing that it was festival season right now. It is currently snowing. Well, the rain is trying to wash it away, but it has snowed here. And my flat is that cold even with the heating on. I'm having to wrap up like I'm going outside. So I'm having a great time. And I'm here to talk about 2026 festival season. I'm so excited. There's so much going on next year. There's so much I want to talk about. There's so much that I have been talking about on TikTok, which is just at Hall with Jones if you want to go and follow over there. And I'm bringing the conversation back to YouTube so I can actually have a full in-depth conversation about it. I love sitting here in front of the camera and just chatting for hours upon hours about this kind of thing. You have no idea how long it takes me to edit through all my waffling. And this is somebody who's been an editor for more than 10 years. Actually, probably more than that. Probably about 15 years at this point. And I'm 25 in a month. Yes, I'm counting the Windows Movie Maker days. Right, let's jump into it. Kick off with Download Festival 2026. And I tell you something, I am so excited about this. Believe it or not, I've never done Download Festival. I've always wanted to. It's been one of them ones that I've always wanted to go to, but I've never done it. And there hasn't ever really been a reason, other than just stars haven't really aligned for it. But this year, I saw the announcement go live and I was just amazed by it. I think everybody kind of predicted who these headliners were going to be because it was the only names that I was seeing for a while, like months. So you've got Limp Bizkit, Guns N' Roses, Linkin Park. The whole lineup is 10 out of 10. I can't even lie to you. Limp Bizkit, I saw them at Leeds last year. Phenomenal. But it'll be very bittersweet because obviously, as a lot of rock fans will know, Sam Rivers unfortunately passed away earlier in the year. And yeah, it'll be very strange because I realised that when I saw Limp Bizkit, that would have been Sam Rivers' last performance with Limp Bizkit. And obviously nobody knew that at the time. So yeah, it'll be, as much as I'm excited to see them again, it will be very bittersweet. And I did make a TikTok about Download Festival in general when the lineup got announced. And there were people in the comments also being like, oh, I'm surprised they're coming back because of everything that happened with Sam. Or oh, I hope they do some sort of tribute. And I think there must have been an internal conversation that the guys have had and gone, look, Sam probably wouldn't have wanted Limp Bizkit to end with him. And, you know, they're going to carry on in his memory. And there's plenty of bands that do that. Like, you know, Architects carried on. Linkin Park, another one that has carried on. And I don't necessarily think it's disrespectful to continue a legacy, to continue a project. Because I can't imagine all of these people would have wanted their bands to end with them, really. But that's my personal opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion on that. Some people might find it disrespectful, and that's completely fine. All in all, though, I'm very excited to see Limp Bizkit again. They were a dream band to have seen anyway, and I'm very grateful and happy that I got to tick that off the bucket list this year anyway. So, to see them again, 10 out of 10 booking, and it's extremely deserved as well for everything they've done in nu metal. Guns N' Roses, I mean, there usually is an iconic, legendary rock band in there. Fair enough. I have heard a lot of criticisms about Axl Rose and the state of its sort of performances nowadays. It's not something I've really looked that much into. Guns N' Roses are an iconic band. I'm not going to say no to seeing them, but I'm quite impartial about it. You know, I sit very in the middle. Like, they're just... I don't really know what I'm meant to say about them, to be completely honest with you. I don't hate them, don't love them. I'll see them. Is what it is. Linkin Park. Oh... I have been a very big Linkin Park fan for a very long time. And again, another one that will be very bittersweet because I never got to see Linkin Park with the legendary Chester Bennington. And I will never, ever, ever forget the day that Chester died. I'll never forget it. I was 15. I was coming home from a theme park with my friends. And I'll never forget my mum texting me going, oh, do you know Linkin Park? I was like, yeah. Bear in mind, I used to sit in my bedroom and watch Kerrang on loop every single day at this point. Obviously, Linkin Park would have been on there multiple times a day. It was when she was just like, oh, well, the lead singer Chester's died. Yeah, just drop that on me over text. I was devastated. I was actually devastated. I mean, I remember my mum coming up to me and like, didn't even realise you were that big of a fan of them. Like, she clearly didn't expect that kind of response out of me over it, but I was devastated. I was absolutely devastated. And I've been a big fan of Mike Shinoda's sort of solo work as well since that happened. And I know a lot of people have very strong opinions about Emily Armstrong, which I'm not really going to dive into. I feel like I'm not educated enough to dive into all of that. I would rather do that when I've done a bit more research. I've sort of just wanted to jump into this video and talk about the lineups, really. I did enjoy From Zero, so I'm willing to see them. I'm happy about it. Right, on to the rest of the lineup, just to change the topic. Bad Omens, I saw them open for Bring Me the Horizon in 2024. Insane booking, amazing. Architects, I know quite a few songs, happy with that. Electric Callboy, this might be controversial. I like their music. I didn't really like the set at Slam Dunk. This is where I get cancelled. I felt like, I don't know if this is just me not knowing what to expect from them live. A lot of the set felt like conversation and then covers. And I was a bit disappointed by it. And I ended up leaving their set early. And I just hope that they bring something different to download. I don't really want to see covers. I understood why they did the Sum 41 cover with having the drummer there. I do apologise. I cannot think off the top of my head what that person's name is. I really apologise. I'm so uneducated. Fuck me. Have I researched this at all? No. And I can understand that. But then when it's just over and over again, it's just, I don't know. It wasn't my cup of tea. I just wanted to hear the music. I wanted to have a party. I wanted to have a laugh. And it wasn't what I expected, I think. But maybe I'll feel different about download knowing what to expect. I don't know. I will see them again. I do like their music. Don't get me wrong. I just wasn't a big fan of the Slam Dunk performance, to be honest with you. All American Rejects, I've heard a lot about them recently because am I right in thinking they're currently on tour with the Jonas Brothers? Tell you what, why don't I just research this? That would be, I've literally got my laptop right in front of me. Yeah, so All American Rejects drop out last minute of the Jonas Brothers tour, citing health issues. Now, this does cite that he had voice issues, but I did hear a lot of people say that he didn't look like he was in a good way and there could have been possible influence of alcohol. I don't want to put things out into the universe that aren't correct, especially as somebody who is sober, and I'm very conscious of making content online to do with sobriety and addiction. You know, kind and fair, and I don't want to come online and slate somebody for things out of their control in that kind of state, in that kind of sense. All in all, I hope he gets better. I did see them at Slam Dunk a couple of years ago as well, and they were brilliant. Hope you're doing okay. Hope everything's all good. We're back to good health next year. And then they put on another good performance. I really enjoyed them. So more on the lineup that I'm so excited for. Rory, she was literally just in Newcastle this month, and I missed her. So I was so excited because I'm sure this lineup came out as she was playing Newcastle, roundabout them couple of days. So I'm so excited because I really want to see Rory live. Seed Queen had set it off. Does this mean we're getting Barbie and Ken and Win-Win live? It makes sense that they're next to each other on the poster, probably because it's alphabetical, but that's not the point. I need to see that live. I need to see it live. I've been a fan of Set It Off over 10 years, probably 11, 12 years, something like that. Seeing Queen have obviously got into it in the last 5 years. So very excited for them. South Arcade, I saw at Leeds last year. Phenomenal. Absolutely. As it is, I've seen a couple of times at Slam Dunk. I'm so happy that they are back. I'm so happy. They were such a good pop-punk band. When I posted my download video on TikTok, there was a lot of people saying, if you remove TX2, this will be perfect. And I can't lie, right? I've heard bits and pieces of the controversy about TX2. It's one of them things, right? Again, I don't know the ins and outs. I don't know everything about it. But please don't let one artist ruin your entire experience of a festival. If you want to boycott it and not go from one artist, all power to you. Don't do that. Don't do that. Do that if you wish. But if there are more good things outweighing the bad, just don't go see that artist. Don't give them the attention. This is obviously be assuming they've not done something like horrific and criminal. Right, I'm going to move on to a different festival. My point being, I'm very likely going to download next year with my Leeds squad. Obviously nothing's confirmed, no one's bought any tickets, but that is the likely plan. Let's talk about Slam Dunk. Oh, Slam Dunk. I'm saying this as somebody who has been to Slam Dunk in 2016, 2017, no, hang on, 2014 briefly, 2016, 2017, 2023 and 2024. I'm a big fan of Slam Dunk. It's the festival I've frequented the most times. and it's the 20-year anniversary, and I'm sorry, it's a little bit disappointing. For me, personally, with my tastes in music, Good Charlotte as a headliner is fantastic, but I don't think for me the rest of the lineup is good enough for me to justify the amount of money to go and see Good Charlotte. The Home Team is a band that I would love to see. I missed them at the last tour again. They're brilliant. I've seen Trash Boat before because they opened for Don Brocco in 2023. They were fantastic. State Champs I've seen before at Sandung. Tonight Alive is a good booking. Hands Like Houses I have a slight grudge against, not going to lie, after everything that went down with Trenton, the original lead singer. So I've kind of boycotted that band in my brain because of that. And yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be going this year. Even saying last year I went, and it was last year? 2025. Hang on a minute, I've just realised. No, when have I been to Sandung? 2014? 2017? No, fuck. 2014, 2016, 2017, 2024, 2025. I've been 5 times. Jesus Christ, I can't do... So when I went for 2025 this year, basically, anyway, there were enough acts that I wanted to see to justify the money for going, so it was okay. But if I wasn't getting a coach down and I was driving, I probably would have turned up mid-afternoon and not turned up for when the gates opened. And this is no shade to Slam Dunk. I love Slam Dunk as a company, as a festival. And I just hope next year, as in 2027, I just hope it's a little bit better. Bring We the Kings back. That will guarantee me coming. It has done twice before. So. This is what I'm so excited to talk about as well. That it's just been announced this week. Radio 1's Big Weekend 2026 is coming to Sunderland. I'm so excited about it. So after everything I've just said about Slam Dunk and Big Weekend are always the same weekend. And I've always wanted to do Big Weekend and I've never had a chance to because I've always picked Slam Dunk first. This year, it's on home turf. And I say home turf like I'm a Mackem. I'm not a Mackem, I just live here. And it was hilarious because obviously last year it was in Liverpool and Sefton Park. Liverpool's my hometown, really. Well, I was born in Liverpool, raised in Widnes, became an honorary Mackem. That's the truth. But Liverpool is home to me. It always has been home to me. And yeah, it was in Sefton Park last year and it had the likes of Sam Fender. And I think that's really, really funny. Because imagine if they tried to book him for this year. Well, look, it makes sense to put it in Sunderland this year. It just does. Where's Sunderland in the Premier League? Better than Newcastle and Liverpool, as it stands anyway. This is a slight tangent, but it is also making me laugh how many Geordie fans are suddenly YSL supporters and are just pulling up the league table and going, oh, mind the gap. I'm not being funny. If you were never a women's football supporter, don't fucking bring up the women's football table just to prove a point against Sunderland, just because the men's table isn't looking the way you want it to. And I'm saying this as somebody who used to frequently go to Liverpool ladies' games. Anyway, back to festival season and not football, because So the lineup hasn't actually been announced yet. Tickets haven't gone on sale. It's just that the announcement of it being in Sunderland has happened. And as somebody who lives in Sunderland and is a musician, obviously BBC have the introducing programme for pioneers, local artists and up-and-coming artists and things. And I have very much jumped on the boat of trying to get their attention because do you want a local artist to play? I'm here. And honest to God, I'm going to hammer in about this in the next 6 months. We'll see if it ever happens. I would love to play it. BBC, please pick me. Choose me. Love me. And please don't put any AI artists on the lineup like you did on a very certain BBC introducing show recently. That wasn't fucking cool. If you want somebody who doesn't use AI, me. Either way though, I will very likely be trying to get tickets for this. Very likely. I haven't even thought much into who the hell's going to be on this lineup. I think it's just because the fact that it's in Sunderland and then thinking there's going to be like A-list celebrities walking about the fucking bridges. Oh God, imagine that. Not that would happen, but you know what I mean. No, I think just the idea of massive worldwide celebrities in Sunderland of all places is just hilarious and iconic. So I'm just excited to see what happens, whatever happens, whoever it is. But I will very likely be going, whether that's playing or just going, I'll be there somehow, some way, somewhere. But BBC, if you are watching, last but not least, out of the things that I actually want to talk about, which is a big part of this channel, admittedly, is Leeds. Reading and Leeds. Good old Reading and Leeds. I'm filming this very prematurely. Reading and Leeds announcement hasn't happened yet for 2026. There have been tickets on sale for 2026. And that's about it so far. And I have had people asking me questions about Leeds next year, about camping, about all this kind of stuff. And I will make a follow-up Leeds video once the announcement has happened. As it stands though, personally, Leeds is very up in the air in my group this year, considering we've done it the last couple of years in a row. I think if the lineup's good enough, I mean, either way, I enjoy going to Leeds. I'll probably be at Leeds either way. But I know some of my friends are waiting for the lineup to decide whether or not they're going to do download and Leeds, or just download, or do a day of Leeds or something, because I know some of my friends weren't really a fan of the camping experience last year, and I had my issues with the campsite, but I have to also admit I was really ill with a sinus infection at Leeds in 2025, and yeah, that wasn't fun. But yeah, it's stuff that I'm going to speak about more in depth in other videos, and if you haven't watched the last video that I uploaded on this channel last week, go watch it. But to summarise, I was talking about some content that I want to do next year on this channel to do with Leeds. Just to do with festivals in general, I suppose, but some of it to do tailored to Leeds. My ADHD is going absolutely mental. I have no idea why I've just picked this up, but now I'm just going to play with it, because why the fuck not? I've completely lost my point. I have absolutely no idea what the fuck I was just talking about. The campsite. That was what I was going to talk about. I proposed an idea in my last video that I wanted to make either a series or a podcast to do with sobriety at festivals. And a big reason for that is because camping at Leeds last year didn't entirely feel safe to me or my friends. It's seemingly becoming more and more about, let's not go to Leeds for music, let's go to Leeds to do drinking drugs. Especially for younger people who are trying drugs for the first time. And don't get me wrong, festivals will always be full of people taking drugs. It has been a thing for many, many years, and I'm not naive enough to think that everybody is going to stop doing it, because somebody will do it, right? It's the reality of the way it is. But if I can do something that's going to help people, especially, you know, there could be people who are in recovery that want to do festivals and don't know how to navigate it. There might be people who have never picked a drink up in their life, have no intention to, but are worried about it. If I make a series on it as somebody who, as it stands, and I'm going to get the correct number up just to prove the point, as it stands right now, and I'm going to show the camera, I am 641 days sober from alcohol from the 18th of February 2024. And I have done Leeds sober the last 2 years, and I've done Slam Dunk sober, and that apparently makes me qualified enough to talk to other people who may want to do festival sober. So I'm going to, because I feel like it's one of them things that isn't talked about enough. I think there is a lot of promotion to do with getting on it at festivals, and my personal opinion, I'm not here to tell people what to do in terms of people who don't have a problem with, say, drink, and just do it for fun, can handle their drink. You do you, right? I'm not here to tell people what to do, to an extent. But what I am here to do is to offer a different perspective for people who are either worried about it or who it doesn't interest them. Because my personal opinion, and this has been my opinion even when I did drink, is that music festivals, I go for the music. I don't go to get pissed. I don't go to get high. I don't go to do whatever. It's for the music. And I really wish more people did that. And it wasn't just an excuse to, I'm going to do cocaine for the first time. I'm going to do ketamine for the first time. Let's stop this. Let's stop this, because I don't feel like enough young people realise how harmful addiction is and how life-altering it can be. And I understand it's an escapism thing. I understand it's a thing of people experimenting, and it's always existed, and I'm not going to pretend like it didn't, or it hasn't. But if I can help one person, just one person, then I've done my job. And that could have really just been the first episode of the entire podcast that I've just aired out in this video. But yeah, I mean, that's a series I'm going to do either way. As I say, it's something that's still in the works. I've worked more on it since the last video. It's something that's definitely in the works, and it's something I'm really wanting to do. And the reason I've put it in the Leeds section of this video is because obviously Leeds is the only festival I've ever camped at as of right this very second. Download will enter that list next year. And I suppose the same will apply for every festival, but I think because of the issues that me and my friends found camping at Leeds last year, that is kind of why I'm tailoring it towards Leeds. As I say, it's advice and things that you could take to any festival, really. But yeah, that's just my honest opinion. I feel like there isn't enough that's being done in terms of drug use at festivals. It's not good enough just having sniffer dogs at the door, because I very much know people have got through them sniffer dogs and searches and left with the drug still in the bag. Not to out people, not to rat people out, but I know for a fact that's happened. Right, so I have asked the community, only an hour ago in fairness, I asked the community if there's anything that anybody wants me to add into this video. I'm going to go through my TikTok comment section, because my videos on there did really well. And actually, before I do that, there is something I want to mention. It's about 21 Pilots. It has come to my attention within the last 24 hours that they are very, very likely going to be playing at All Points East, because I've seen the promotion of All Points East and then it turns into East is Up. I was like, that is undeniably 21 Pilots. Hello, good morning. I've been awake for 6 minutes. It's the following morning. I've just been editing this video till late last night. But I've just seen that 21 Pilots have just been confirmed officially that they're doing All Points East, alongside Wonder Horse, Ren, Baby No Money, Paris, Nova Twins, Kid Kapachi, Dead Pony and Leap. And to be fair, that is such a banging headline? Line-up. God, I'm tired. And it does also say that this is a UK exclusive, so anything I say about 21 Pilots and Leeds Fest is now obsolete. Just take that into account when you continue watching. I go back to bed. See, I don't know a lot about All Points East. I've never been to it. It's in London's Victoria Park. Would that clash? Bear with me while I'm getting my bearings. Right, so it looks like it's the Friday before Leeds and the weekend of Leeds. So you never know, really. Because in reality, there has been times, just to go back to, say, Big Weekend and Slam Dunk. The year Panic at the Disco headlined Slam Dunk, they also played Big Weekend. And I want to say that was in Norwich that year. No, it was in Hull. Hull? Hang on. Am I getting my years right? Oh, God, this isn't the set. No, hang on. Is it 2016? It was 2016 in Exeter. No, that's right. 2017 was the year that I went for We the Kings, and only We the Kings, because it was a couple of days after the Manchester attack happened. And bear in mind, I grew up in Widnes. Widnes is not far from Manchester. That very much hit home. And a lot of people that I went to school with and were friends with were at that Ariana Grande concert, and it was the most horrific thing. Genuinely, it was... I can't even describe it, honestly. It was horrific. And I remember how much they upped the security and how much, like, there was people at Slam Dunk that year that had been to that concert that same week and were terrified, but they still went anyway, and they still wanted to have a good time. And yeah, that was that same year in 2017, and that was the We the Kings year, and I literally only went for We the Kings and went home. And I remember it being a discussion with my parents, because my parents were worried about it, and I was like, look, the likelihood is it's not going to happen again, but I compromised and went, I'll go for We the Kings and come home. But I met Charles Trippy that day, so really it was not a waste of a day whatsoever, or a waste of money. It was one of the highlights of my gig-going sort of experiences, I suppose. The point was, in 2016, Panic at the Disco played Big Weekend and then went straight over to Birmingham? Yes, it was still in Birmingham. And then they headlined in Birmingham that night. So it's very, very possible that 21 Pilots could do All Points East and Leeds Festival at Reading and Leeds. I also think Sabrina Carpenter is a massively expected name, I think. And I have a theory about it that I want to share. And my theory is that in 2024, on the main stage, they kept playing the same music video over and over again of Hozier's Everybody's Soldier, constantly. And it was the only music video that they kept playing. And I sat there and I went, I bet you Hozier is performing next year because they keep playing this one video and I don't know why they keep doing it. And lo and behold, he was a headliner. So when we went to Leeds this year, I went with that knowledge. And they continuously, on the main stage, played Sabrina Carpenter songs over and over on loop. It wasn't any particular song, it was just that it was just on and on and on. It was always like Espresso, Please, 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 Juno, list goes on. And it was constant. Sabrina Carpenter, Sabrina Carpenter, Sabrina Carpenter. We kept hearing it and we were like, she's in next year, she has to be. So we will follow up on them predictions in my next Leeds video, because I think that this Reading and Leeds announcement is coming very, very soon. At least within the next month. We will know before my birthday. I turned 25 on the 19th of December. It's the 20th of November now. In this next month, we are going to know who the headliners for Leeds 2026 is going to be. And then that's going to be the deciding factor of if our little girl group's going. So we'll see about that, I suppose. It could end up being just me and Beth. I don't know. We'll keep you updated. I'm not going to put anything in it the universe because I'm not willing to pressure my friends just because I've put it online. So we will just see what happens. Whatever happens, happens. Yeah, they're my main two predictions anyway for Reading and Leeds. Not headliner-wise, I think James Marriott's going to be there at Leeds because I'm sure... Was it the signings he did this year? I met James Marriott earlier this year. And there was one signing and I saw a video of it. I think it was on TikTok. It was either on TikTok or Twitter. I can't remember. And I'm sure he told somebody, oh, well, we're doing Reading and Leeds next year. I don't think he was meant to tell people because I know these festivals do like book people years in advance. Because I'm sure somebody asked about it and he said, oh, well, it's too late to do Reading and Leeds this year, but we're doing it next year. And I've never forgot that. So I think he's on the lineup somewhere. I'm very much hoping Don Brocco is either going to do Leeds or Download. Very much hoping, or Download the next wave or the first Leeds announcement. They've got to have a token rock group at Leeds. They've got to on that main stage. But to be fair, so having said that, I think Don Brocco can move up the bill now, even to the Enter Shikari slot from this year because they're good enough for it. They are unbelievable live. I've seen them a couple of times now. I wish I was going to their tour next month as well, which I'm not. The new stuff that they've been putting out this year is brilliant. I cannot wait for their new album when they announce that. And my parting thought is I hope they never bring back Travis Scott. Never do that again. I don't understand so many people who have this fucking obsession with this man. Watch the Astroworld documentary, please. I do not ever want to see him on a festival bill again. And I likely will, but I never want to see that. Right, let's wrap it up. I will be back at some point with a Leeds follow-up. But don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. What do you think? What are your predictions for any of these festivals that I've mentioned? Hello again, another quick edit. I just want to say that last night as well, after I'd recorded that video, I have set up a brand new Facebook page as well for my content and things. I'm conscious of the fact, not that it's happened yet and not that I'm anywhere near big enough on TikTok. I have seen other creators before rush over to Facebook because there have been people that have been stealing the videos and uploading them to Facebook and getting a lot of views for them. So I thought, before anybody has a chance to do that, before any of my content takes off, I'm just going to go and do it myself. So I have made a brand new Facebook page. It's just Holwick Jones. I'm going to add it to the link tree that's in the description of this video if you can't find it because it is brand new. I struggle to search for it myself on my own Facebook page. If you find my actual personal Facebook page, don't request it. I will not add you back on it. That one is private for me and my family and friends. Thank you. Yeah, just want to add that in as well. I'm going to love yous and leave yous. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And I shall see you soon. Actually, before I leave, go follow me on all socials, on Instagram and TikTok. It's Holwick Jones. And I also have a joint account on TikTok with my girlfriend called @Beth Holly 2020. We've just posted some new content over there to do with Christmas. Because I've just bought these little hash brown men and I'm obsessed with them. They're not actually hash browns, they're gingerbread men, but they look like little hash browns. I've just posted a TikTok about it and I'm really, really happy about it. So go follow for more on all socials, all platforms. Subscribe here for more festival content and potentially some commentary content in the meantime because there's not a lot to talk about in festival season in the downtime. I can't lie. This is the most exciting it's been since August. So, yeah. Love yous and leave yous. Mwah! See you soon.